What is going on, all you beautiful people, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. So today we are doing a little bit of a Q&A. I had you guys submit some anonymous questions. We got a bunch of good ones. I have them here on my laptop, not on my phone. I had to write them down because I don't have an actual camera. You're sitting over there. We have a number of good questions that range from fitness, that range from my prep, and other questions. If you are new to the channel, please feel free to run down below and hit that subscribe button. And at the end of the video, if you like it, please feel free to like the video as well. And as always, I always love when you guys comment. So if you have any ideas for me, anything that you want to see, please throw that in the comments below. But also ask a question yourself, because I would love to answer some of those in the comments too. But we're going to start off with question number 1. So the very first question is personality or look? I am a big personality guy. I think that having like substance to you, being able to communicate, being able to talk, like I don't want a stale person, someone whose, conversation is going to go dry. So I'm a huge personality guy. Of course, looks factors into it as well, but it's definitely more so personality than anything. Have you ever gotten in a fist fight? No, but I've come close. It happened a couple years ago. It was a miscommunication with this other guy, with Emily. It was a whole big thing. It was before we even started dating. It was like right before this other guy thought they were talking, but she actually was more interested in me. It was a whole big story. I'm not going to go into it. In short, no, I've never been in a fist fight before. And I wouldn't be opposed, but only if the time is right and if they swing first. Because if they swing first, then it's self-defense for me and I'm not going to get in trouble. Are you seeing anyone right now, or are you single? I am seeing someone currently, and I have been. I just mentioned her, Miss Emily Allen. We just hit our 3-year mark back in February of 2023. So we started dating just before COVID started. We met in 2019, did an orientation program together at Assumption University. That's where we met. We became really close and ended up started dating back in 2020. So I am seeing her, and I live with her too. So what are you most looking forward to with shows coming up? How will your experience from last season influence the way you approach this upcoming season? So this prep has definitely been a lot harder for me. The cravings have been really bad. The mental aspect when it comes to food has been really, really bad. Definitely extremely hard. I've kind of mentioned to a few people before that I'm pulling off of what I told myself at the end of last year's shows. And at the end of the second show, I spent a lot of time by myself after that show to really reflect on everything that's gone on. I made it a point to really embed in my mind that no matter how hard this gets, no matter how bad you want to stop or how bad you want to quit, when you do this in the future, you can. Feeling on show day, getting on stage, and after show day, there is no other feeling like it. I obviously didn't win. I didn't place super well, and I've never won any kind of championship before, so I don't really know what that winning feels like, but that sense of accomplishment and success of completing a task that I put my heart and soul into was something that I knew that future Aiden needed to remember. And so every day I remind myself of why I do what I do, and that's something that I encourage all of you to do as well. That post-show feeling, that show day feeling, that being on stage feeling is one that I really pull from right now, where I don't want to keep going. I want to quit, and I have those days, and it's okay to have those days. And I knew, last year I had them, and this year I knew I was going to have them too. It's just this year they've definitely been more frequent and harder to get through, but they've been gotten through so far. We've been going for about 13 and a half weeks. So what foods do you miss the most on the cut? Literally everything. But if I had to narrow it down, I became a huge pizza fan last year. I obviously loved pizza, but during prep last year, that's like the one thing I really craved towards the end. So definitely miss pizza right now. My Halo Top and my Enlightened low-calorie ice cream, I definitely miss those. And cookies, of course, too. I'm such a big cookie guy. If you guys know, like at grocery stores, those big platters of cookies, if you showed up to one of my shows or to my house with one of those after my show, I would literally love you forever. I'd give you a big hug and a big kiss, because the cookies are literally my weakness. Any kind of cookie. Yes, even the oatmeal raisin, I think that's probably my top 5 cookie. So What's your goal in terms of a job? Is there something specific you are trying to pursue currently? So currently, I work for the University of St. Thomas. I work as an admissions counselor / recruiter. So I'm going to high schools at college fairs, talking to students about the university. But I think my dream job would really, I have a few. I am working on my NASM personal training certification right now so that I can take on clients. I don't know that I would want to run my own business, but I definitely want a clientele, kind of work with others and have a group business together. Some of the bigger dreams that I have, I would love to coach a hockey team, like a mid-level, like maybe a high school hockey team. I would love to coach a hockey team for sure. And on the other side of that, open a gym. I want to open a gym somewhere where I plan on retiring, kind of my forever home somewhere in that sense. I don't know where that is yet. On social media, I'm all about creating a positive atmosphere in the gym, and I want to create that space where you can come and just grind and have that bodybuilding aspect of working as hard as you can, but also have that fitness aspect side of things where you can come in and you don't have to feel judged by others. It's very collaborative, communicative, is that a word? Where you can come, grind, work your ass off, but also pull knowledge from others and be able to connect with others. Biggest red flags for a girl. I assume that means like in a girl, something that would turn me off. Again, I touched on it before. If you're like a stale person, right? If you can't really hold a conversation or you don't have much substance to you, that's a big red flag. If you're almost like a cookie cutter of others, being too mainstream, I guess, because I feel like a lot of people nowadays just follow trends, and I'm no different from that. But at the same time, I try to pull on my own personality too and my uniqueness, whereas I feel like there's a lot of, I don't want to just stay on the girl topic. I mean, the whole frat boy stereotype, if you go into a frat, everyone looks the same. It's the same with like a sorority with girls. Like, they all kind of look the same. That's a big red flag for me. Those are probably the two big ones. Like, if you don't like reciprocate energy, if you don't reciprocate a conversation, like if you can't hold that with me, then, I don't really want anything to do with you. What's been keeping you so positive? Are you religious? Again, the positivity just comes from my personality. I'm a high energy guy. I know a lot of people that watch this know me pretty personally. It's not hard for me to really just be positive all the time. I will tell you that I'm not always as positive. At least the last few weeks, I've been really hard on myself. I've been really down on myself. And I mentally, again, I just said it, this prep has been extremely difficult. It's something I've never experienced before, but we're working our way through it. Am I religious? I was raised as a Christian, but Christian, Catholic, I know it's all a little bit different, but it's all kind of the same. I was confirmed, I was baptized. I'm more spiritual than anything, not horoscopes or anything like that. Kind of believe in the power of positive thinking. I believe in karma. I believe that if you're a positive person, you put out positive energy into the world, it's going to come back to you. Something I will be completely honest with you, when we did go to mass when I was a kid, we went to St. Mark's in Londonderry, New Hampshire. And I've had this weird, when I fly home for my show in May, I'm flying home on a Saturday night, I have this weird draw to go to mass on Sunday morning. And I don't really know why. I've had this feeling for about a week and a half now. I don't know where it's coming from, but I've had this draw to go back to mass that Sunday morning. So I think I might do that. So I'm like kind of religious, but also not really. Like, I haven't been to mass in the longest time. Do wear a cross. I keep this with me all the time. It's a gift for my family when I was confirmed. What do you want for your birthday? I'm the worst person to get gifts for because I don't keep like a running list, and I don't like tell people or ask for anything. I just kind of like point at things while I shop for other things, and I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. I would love that. And I hate asking for gifts. So I think I know who asked this question. I don't know. My birthday is April 4th, so it's in like a week from when I'm recording this. I don't know. I'm sorry. Forearm exercises for growth. Now, if you're an advanced lifter asking this question and you're trying to grow your forearms, stop using lifting wraps or the straps that like help you, because you really want to try to build up your forearm strength without using those straps. But I would say anything else is like just doing wrist curls with either dumbbells or like those easy bar curls, but that, and also just kind of giving it time. Really, you could even stand there with heavy dumbbells and just hold them down by your side, right? And just be sure to squeeze and don't let go until you absolutely have to. Easiest and hardest things about what you do. I'll kind of answer this question in two ways. One, with my actual job, and also two, with kind of social media, bodybuilding, that kind of stuff. So number one, my actual job, being an admissions counselor, admissions recruiter, I'm working with families, I'm working with students to make sure they get all their documents uploaded for their applications, that they can apply and be accepted or denied into the university. I would say some of the hardest things about that is the attention span and the motivation of kids and students nowadays is very limited, it's very small, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. So getting students to actually do what they need to do before the deadline is extremely difficult. That and, just communication in the workplace. I say it all the time, communication makes the world go round. When families don't communicate, when students don't communicate, different things like that can get a little frustrating. But overall, I haven't had many complaints about my job. The first, 5 months, I was loving it. So when it comes to social media and bodybuilding, I guess I can answer those in two parts as well. For social media, it's hard to really stay on top of things and to kind of evolve and adapt with where social media is going. Like, you can post a reel, like that short form content on TikTok, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on YouTube, and probably on Facebook as well. I'm really only doing TikTok and Instagram. I know I need to get into doing it on YouTube because I know that's gonna help grow the channel, which is what we want. But at the same time, I have this mental thing where I want it to grow organically. I don't wanna put these shorts out and these reels out, just to try to get followers. I want people to be here and watch these videos because they care. The way the old funnel used to work was they would see you on TikTok, they would go to your Instagram, and then they would go to your YouTube. And it would funnel in. So you'd get a lot of eyes on TikTok. Those who really enjoyed you would follow you on Instagram, and those who really wanted to get to know you would subscribe to you on YouTube. And so it's just hard kind of keeping up with the evolving algorithms and social media platforms, and it's exhausting because I wish I had more time to really put into it, but working a 9 to 5 is extremely difficult to kind of do both. But then for bodybuilding, obviously, doing it naturally, it's very slow. I've only been really lifting for a couple years, and I really only did one bulk for about a year, maybe a year and a half before I started cutting. And I've done preps in back-to-back years. So after this summer, I am going to probably not compete until 2025, probably go all of 2024 and just try to put on as much mass as I can. And then we'll see where we go from there. Just, cutting out the food. I'm such a big food guy. Having to give up on some social aspects as well. Like, a lot of my coworkers go out for drinks after work sometimes, and there's a lot of opportunities for me to invite them to go out for drinks, but obviously I can't do that when I'm trying to grow these social media platforms. I have to go to the gym, I have to do my cardio, I'm prepping, I can't drink anyway. It's a lot, and I'm stressed constantly, but we still find time to do the things we love. Do you have any suggestions for gaining weight? Eat more than you expend. What's going on, guys? So I'm currently editing the YouTube video here, but I didn't like how I answered this question. So I wanted to take a second to answer it better and in a more concise way, because I kind of had my thoughts all jumbled together. If you struggle putting weight on, you need to eat more than you expend. That might mean that in the gym or your lifestyle, you're very active and you're actively burning calories, or you just have a high resting metabolism where your body just burns food quickly. So if you are a hard gainer and you really struggle to put on weight no matter how much food you eat, think about the types of food that you're eating and the quantities that you're eating it. So if you're eating like Hostess donuts and cereal and ice cream, these are not sustainable calories that are going to help you put weight on. Really try and focus on eating whole foods. Eat your chicken, ground beef, ground turkey, and then for carb sources, really stick to sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, rice, and a big one, again, if you are a hard gainer, pasta, right? You can do a lot of different things with pasta, red sauce, Alfredo sauce, different things like that. So if you are a hard gainer, cook your food in olive oil, as that's super high calorie, and olive oil is technically good for you. It's a good fat. Avocado is an easy add to different things, but it's eating these high calorie foods that are going to add up. Again, you need to be really careful with how you do it, because you could slam 10,000 calories a day and not realize it, and then you start to put on some bad weight. But those are just some ways that I think are helpful. The other big thing I think is going to be really helpful is high calorie dense shakes. If you are a hard gainer, it's hard to eat a lot of food. So that's where these shakes really come in handy, because you're just drinking calories. My recommendation for that is, you can go online and find a lot of really high calorie shakes, 1,000 to 1,200 to 2,000 calorie shakes if you really need that, with like 2 scoops of protein powder, oats, honey, peanut butter or almond butter if you don't have a nut allergy, you know, and then you mix that with milk, a banana, almond milk, anything like that, those calories add up quickly. If you struggle with eating a high volume of food but need those calories because you're a hard gainer, try one of those high calorie dense shakes. I don't have my own because I look at food and put weight on, so I never had to use a 1,000 calorie shake. But if you go online, there's 1,000 different recipes on there for like a fruit fan or a chocolate peanut butter fan, different things like that. There's definitely ways that you can do it. And I just wanted to take a second while I was editing this video. I didn't like how I answered it there, so I wanted to just come on here and answer it back with you here. So we'll get back into it. And the very last question that we have here today is not even really a question, but more of a statement. Please give me pickup lines that always work. This may come as a shock to you, but I've only had like 3.5 girlfriends. I don't really count the first one. I was a freshman in high school. I have terrible game. Never my strong suit, but never something I really tried for either. I always let relationships kind of form naturally. If you want a relationship with someone, you have to be friends with them first. You have to establish a foundation, establish a rapport with them. You can't just jump right in to a relationship with a girl at the bar. I mean, you could. I know it works. Obviously, there are some Tinder love stories, but I'm not a pickup line guy. I'm more of a kind of be yourself and just do your own thing kind of guy. Definitely when it comes to relationships, you got to be friends first. That's the way that I see it. That's how 2 of my relationships worked, and they were the 2 longest, and Emily is the current one. Just being friends first and establishing like who you are and establishing that foundation. But that is gonna wrap it up. I really, really appreciate you guys submitting the questions that you did. If you liked this, please let me know. Maybe we can do like some more specific questions in the future. Like maybe we'll do a whole episode dedicated to food, a whole episode dedicated to training, and then also like my personal life, anything like that. So if you enjoyed this, please drop a like below, drop a comment below if you would be interested in this in the future. And if you have any pickup lines, let me know. Not that I need them, but for that poor soul that asked me, basically begged me for them. I'm gonna try to help you. We're gonna try to get you some. So you'll have to look in the comments for anybody that has success. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in today. Be yourself, be kind of others, and of course, trust your process. As always, I appreciate you guys the most. If you haven't subscribed, please, please, please do that and share this with your friends if you're interested. But I appreciate you tuning in today, and we will see you in the next one.
Through the wastelands, through the highways, and